Hello, good morning everyone. This is me again, Karen Saber from Karen Saber Tarot. And today, this is a continuation of my little video about the what are considered the scary cards. And I will be discussing, previously I was discussing the Tower from the Rider-Waite Tarot card deck. But today, I will be discussing the next card that we usually consider or fear because it looks scary, and it's a Major Arcana card as well. Let me just have a look into that particular card. It's not going to be long, don't worry about it. So the card that I'm going to discuss today is going to be the next scary card, which will be dun, 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 the Death card. So I purposely have my favorite teddy bear that I got from Big W with me because this particular teddy bear is a comforting teddy bear, and I considered it appropriate because we're going to discuss death, and the background is my favorite teddy bear. He's going to cheer you up, right, Teddy? Yes, I will. And help you take the fear along with my short video about the Death card. So let's start. So this is the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and I'll first discuss the Death card in the picture. So when you do a reading and this comes up, the querent is usually, most querents who requests for a reading and they see the Death card, they feel like immediately the first thing that comes to their mind is it's going to be somebody or a person within their circle who's going to, knock on wood, not now anyway, die. But this is not so. This Death card is not about physical death, and I'd like to explain more so that I can give another new perspective about the Death card, and that you will also learn not to fear it every time it comes up in a reading. So for those new to tarot, I will make it as simple as possible. So what happens when something dies? Let's say, for example, if we have a plant that we try to nurture, and then we had to go somewhere, say a short vacation, and we forgot to flower those plants, and there was, a week-long short vacation, but you forgot to shower or have your neighbor take care of the plants meanwhile while you're away, and there was no rain, no shower, no drizzle, nothing. And when you got back, the plant suddenly wilted. Not suddenly, but wilted already when you got there, and it was too late for you. And so you were feeling really, really sad about it. But you made a decision. You've learned a lesson about that. And because you've learned a lesson, you've decided, okay, if I'm going to have another short vacation and be away for a week in the near future, I'm going to make sure that I have my neighbor or my best friend visit my plant if I'm going to replant again and take care of it while I'm gone. So the person decides to do some planting, replace the ones that died with a new one, and then took care of it, and it eventually looks the same or even better than the previous plant that she had. So why am I talking about that example? Because that is what death is about. So if you remember, I always mention that whenever I read, I always set the intention that this will be for the best and highest good of the querent. So every time that certain cards show up in a reading, it is not meant to make you feel really sad and experience some doom and gloom because somebody from your family is going to die. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the time. And most often than not, it is there to teach you a major lesson. And in the case of the death card, and in the case of the example I gave, if you are committed to taking care of something and it ends up not so good, you will have a resolve to redo it again and do it from start and make sure that it becomes cared for 24/7. So this is what the death card is about. So if you notice the cards, you experience some people here. Let me have a look. So you notice this yellow figure who looks like a religious figure who is praying to the figure here that looks like death, a representation of death with a white horse. It's like he's not begging, but he's praying. And then there's people here who are already dead, and the background, the blue background, represents water, but there's also sunshine. So we always experience changes. We always experience some form of death or ending. But know that when something dies or something ends, it ends and dies for a reason. It is always making way for new beginnings. And the reason why it did or it died in the first place was to give you hope, or the reason why it ended in the first place was to give you hope that you can start again. So look at the picture of the sun. Nobody can tell whether this is during the sun rising or during the sun setting. And the reason behind that is to make us realize that death is a cycle. Death is transformation. The sun will rise, the sun will set, and it will rise again, and it will set. So this is a reality that we have to know about or notice about life. That though there may be some endings, but eventually these endings are there for a reason. It's meant to transform you to become better. It's there to help you become the best version of you. And endings aren't always happy. We know that. It's always not going to be a happy ending. And the fact that the sun here is unrecognizable when it comes to whether it is a sunrise or a sun setting, that means that this is a reality that we must face. Transformation always happens. All right? So when it comes up in a reading, it depends on the topic that you have or the question that you have. Please realize that it does not always mean that you're going to end up having a family or somebody close to you dying. Most often, it is about transformation, having the necessary ending so that you will be transformed to become the best version of yourself. So this is what the death card is about as well, and I hope you find this particular video helpful for you in your tarot journey. Meanwhile, here's my little teddy, and I'm gonna tell him to say goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye bye. See ya.